Hi, and welcome to the Senior Network. I'm your host, Greg Fulton. We are joined today by Natalie Lucas, Optimal Hearing, correct?
Yes.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And Joe A.G. with Seabrook.
Correct.
Glad to have you. Well, Joe, tell us a little bit. I'm familiar with Seabrook, but is this assisted living, independent? Tell us a little bit about what's offered there.
It's primarily independent living.
Okay.
We have 207 condominiums there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With all different types of floor plans. But we also have the Fraser Health Center, which is our skilled nursing facility.
Okay.
We have a home health and wellness department, which basically provides the assisted living type services, but in the resident's own condominium.
Oh, sure. Like our company, Right at Home, when you go into a private home, you do the same thing there, right, with your own company, right?
Exactly. There's certain things that we can handle in-house, and then of course, depending on the situation and what's going to be the best fit for someone living at the Seabrook, they possibly could move to another destination.
And when you say the Fraser, for our viewers, skilled nursing, that's a little higher acute care, correct?
24/7.
24/7, okay. And I'm assuming that do your members have first priority, like to go into
As
the Fraser?
far as access, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But we're open to the public. It's Medicare certified,
Oh, sure.
and a lot of folks will be there for rehabilitation purposes,
Right.
as well as just living there on a full-time basis because they need that level of care.
Yeah. Well, Natalie, I assume that you work a lot with the seniors.
All day, every day.
Yeah, and you're familiar with Seabrook? You work?
Absolutely. I go out there to see quite a bit of my patients. So
Okay.
we do home visits when needed.
Well, tell us a little bit about your company. I'm not familiar with it because I wasn't on the last show, so I didn't get to hear all the wonderful information. Are you in Bluffton, Hilton Head? Where are you located?
I'm in both,
Okay.
but we have offices both in Bluffton and in Hilton Head. Optimal Hearing is family owned and operated going back to 1961.
Oh, okay.
So we've got offices primarily around Georgia and South Carolina and
Okay.
growing quite a bit right now. And it's a family that has had hearing loss running through their family,
Sure.
so very dedicated to service and taking care of people.
Great. Natalie, what's your role with the company?
I'm a hearing aid specialist,
Okay.
which means I'm state licensed
Okay.
to test fit hearing aids and service patients who have hearing aids.
So in other words, if I came to you because I had that need, you're actually the person that would fit the hearing aid?
I am. We do a comprehensive evaluation and assess what that particular patient needs, what may be a best fit for them. And then we go through an entire process of fitting, helping patients adapt to hearing aids. It is a process.
Oh, yes.
And then lifetime care and service. So we are at the patient's disposal whenever they need.
Yeah. Now, technology, I'm sure, has just changed.
Leaps and
I
bounds.
bet so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know with the equipment that I've seen, it's so much smaller now, and it's all this GPS stuff, and I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the big stuff right now is Bluetooth connectivity and all the ways that we can use hearing aids with our cell phones to adapt to any environment we may step into, as well as, streaming with television.
Yeah.
All things that make hearing aids work better for patients and that also allow patients to have more control over their hearing aids and how they want to hear.
Yeah. Well, it made me think, too, we're talking about that, the seniors. Joe, back to Seabrook, a moving in process. Tell us a little bit about when someone decides to maybe leave that 3,500 square foot home and they want to downsize and move into a facility like yours. Tell us about that process.
Well, it can be quite stressful,
Oh, sure.
actually. People need to know where they're going.
Right.
And a lot of times they need to sell their house first.
Right.
So it's kind of difficult for them to possibly select something and make a commitment to that before their house even goes under contract.
Right.
So there's so many unknowns initially, and that's kind of very stressful for folks. But typically, people will come to the Seabrook and take a tour and see what we have to offer, see what type of accommodations we offer, and from there, they'll hopefully make a decision that would be a great place
Right.
to move to, and then it's a matter of getting with their realtor and getting their house on the market. And the unit that they might see that day may not be available when it comes time to actually move because they've got whatever happens between now and when their house actually goes on the market and gets sold. So But once they've made the commitment to the community, we see that there is a mindset change, knowing that they're going to be downsizing and need help with that. And we actually have put somebody in place to help with that process. So as much as we can deliver the stress level, reduce the stress level, then the better that experience is going to be in that whole moving process. And
So there's probably no right time for that. It has to be an individual decision, and what that individual's looking for, right? And to
Correct.
move into a place like yours.
Well, and there's some things that will drive that from time to time. Somebody has a health issue come up that had never been there before. We like to see people who are completely independent, a couple that really has no medical problems, because once they move to Seabrook, it really becomes a totally different scenario for them, where it's a very social place. They can create all new friendships. They don't have to worry about the dining component necessarily. So it really becomes really a fun place to live.
Speaking of dining, can they have dining in their residence, or is it all going to like the?
Well, we have our own dining room that's open for lunch
okay.
and for dinner.
Right.
And people will do takeout for dinner.
So they can. Okay.
They can.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm assuming you have a chef that you're proud of.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Just like the Fraser Health Center is a 5-star, our dining room's a 5-star.
Awesome.
And all you have to do is, I take clients down the hall in our clubhouse, and every time we pass somebody, they'll say, "Hey, look, you got to come here. The food is wonderful."
Yeah.
So it's great to have that be one of our known features.
Yeah.
But it definitely keeps people happy.
Well, yeah, it's a gorgeous place, right? It's right on Hilton Head Island, right on the water. Great. And Natalie, you had mentioned, you made me think that you actually visit there. So
Right.
you actually go and see some of the patients instead
I
of them
do.
coming to you, or?
I do. If a patient has, been in an accident or had something happen, I'll go find them at a hospital or at a home. I do personal home visits. It's just a way for me to know that my patients are hearing when they can't get to me, and I become very close to my patients.
Sure.
So I'm always there. If they need me to come to them, I absolutely will. I want them to hear.
Exactly.
Right.
I want them to hear too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Natalie, how long have you been with Optimal Hearing?
I've been with Optimal Hearing just about 3 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes.
I've heard you guys. You do a great job. You really do.
Right.
You
We
have a good
care.
reputation. Yeah, you really do. Joe, speaking of that, I know the clients, you guys work with the same obviously seniors, and we do too. At the Seabrook, is there a waiting list to get in, or how does that work? Do you?
Basically, what happens at the Seabrook is there's a certain group of people that we know have made, at least in conversation, a commitment to the Seabrook.
Oh, okay.
And it's then more or less a timetable, 6 months, a year, could be even longer. So the idea is that I know what type of property that they are most interested in, the type of floor plan, location, that type of thing. So whenever one of those pops up, it's not like we have a dedicated list that you see going down the list as far as what's available, but someone that I know that I need to stay in touch with on a consistent basis, so that they can hopefully get the exact type of unit and location that they want.
So is that your role, is working with the families as they move into the Seabrook and helping that process?
Well, I'm part of it.
You're part of the team
as well as we have a gal, Tricia Rimovich, who's a
Okay.
local gal who's been doing downsizing for a couple of decades.
Oh, so, yeah.
So she kind of helps us in that process. But as far as helping with movers and things like that, we step up and try to make it as easy and as less stressful as possible.
And the independent living, you may have mentioned this, is this a leasing situation or a purchase situation?
Well, we don't have time to discuss all the actual details about that, but it's a buy-in.
It's a buy-in type situation.
Yeah, it's a buy-in. There's two different programs that we offer, but there's definitely a financial commitment that someone makes when they come to the Seabrook.
I understand. Natalie, Optimal, I know that there's obviously many different hearing aid companies out there, and like I said, I've heard your name many times as far as the community. What do you think sets you guys apart? You mentioned the family-owned. And
I think really it's the dedication to service, the follow-up care.
Yeah.
We're not just interested in selling hearing aids and wishing people well. It's that commitment to service them and be there for them on year 5 or year 7, the same as we are on day 1.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of my job,
Yeah.
is people coming into the office and checking in every 4 months and catching up, as well as checking their ears, making sure their hearing aids are working for them.
Great. Hold that thought. We need to take a break. Stay with us, the Seniors Network.